Good afternoon, London. We are near Christmas next week, and very exciting for Christmas, but also very exciting on this business journey with my partner. So today I actually want to talk about flow state in business. What is actually flow state in business? Well, it's a topic because this is for the first time in my life I'm actually creating a business out of flow state rather than a space of controlling and very force energy of masculine energy, which is a big challenging for lots of female entrepreneur actually. I remember my last business which I did for, so that was actually two business. I did them for about 7 years, and I remember it was really hard. Like I have to work like 14 hours a day, 6-7 days a week, and I just end up burned out as well. I was just like, yeah, even the business got successful, but internally I literally burned out. I overwork. I work like hour, so many hours. I think online these days people like to talk about hustle, but I tell you something, I started to see things very differently. But this is my own perspective. I'm not here to against anyone else, and I'm just gonna share with you what I learned from my own process. So let's look at the business. What's the two different type of business we're talking about here, right? So we have the business which is control. We have another type of business is called flow state. Flow state. Okay, first time using the flip chart on the video, so it may not be very good. Okay, but we're trying. So the control business actually is very masculine force type of business. So it's like a business that use lots of energy from a lower vibrations. So lower vibration. And lots of hustle, right? So if you're watching like lots of online content and even lots of entrepreneurs, they like to talk about how to work 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, 6-7 days a week, give everything to your business. Okay, that's great. You will probably reach some financial success on that, but end up you're gonna be what? Lose it all. Why I'm saying you're actually gonna end up losing it all, because you will end up losing your health, and you're gonna end up losing your relationship with yourself, right? And also loved ones, because the reason that is because if we actually creating business in a space of control, we want the business to be exactly the way we want it to be. It's kind of like, it's like a human conditions that we're so scared of uncertainty in our life, unknown or in our life. We like to know, we want planning this strategy exactly the way we want it to be. So that's why this business talk about 3 years, 10 years, 20 years business strategy. To be honest with you, most business plan doesn't work. It's because nobody really knows what's gonna happen in the 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. If you look at lots of business owners, they may even tell you like, I don't even know how my business got so big, or like over a few years, whatever. Like for me, for my last business, literally the first year in my e-commerce, I was doing like nothing, and the second year I was doing like what, 70,000, and the next year I 10x'd that. I mean, that no hundreds of years that I would actually thought that was possible. So lots of business plan doesn't actually work. It's because we don't really know like how everything's gonna go exactly the way we want it to be. And I think this space of unknown is a very scary place to be. Because when we're in this space of unknown, we actually feel really unsafe, and we don't know what's gonna happen in the future. So because of that, we love to control. We love to control the circumstances. This is actually how our body is doing, is tell us like, oh my god, you're gonna be unsafe, you're gonna be unknown because you are tap into something that you never been before. Because the result of this, you're gonna be very, very controlling. So we are actually know there's lots of over control entrepreneurs in the business world, but the problem with that is they actually operating from very low vibration. My handwriting is not pretty yet. Oh, it's just always like that. So they're gonna end up with lots of low vibrations, and they're also going to sacrifice lots of, you know, everything else. Like, you know, life is not just about business and money. Life is everything, right? So if you think about life is about relationship, life is about, you know, your health, life is about your friendship, life is about your family life is about enjoyment, life is about spirituality, everything. So there's like a categories of your lives here. It's not just like one thing, business and money, which is most entrepreneurs love to focusing on that, which is completely understandable why they do what they do, because I used to be like that myself. But what happened to me was I actually end up burning out. So even though the business made a great amount of finance, but I just burned out. I just literally was like, oh my god. And I started suffering so much from anxiety. You know, I was addicted to alcohol and smoking cigarettes. I almost have to like drink to sleep at night because I have like lots of anxiety and stress. And I gave up everything else in my life. I just focusing on business. And that was not fun. So this is what I'm showing you is there's a different ways of running business. So we can either making the business out of control, or we can tap into this space called flow state. And this is a very beautiful space, which is very in some way very scary when you first tap into this space. And this is the first time in my life that I'm actually creating a business out of flow state. So what is flow state? It's actually operating from high vibration energy and manifesting station. Let's just talk a little bit about this bit. Okay. So the business we talk about now operating from flow state is actually a business that operating from high vibration. If you look at the humans, right, we actually operating at different layers, different levels of consciousness. So the first level is very simple. It's like surviving. It's all about fighting for surviving, and it's like most people actually still operating in the first level is because they haven't done enough spiritual work and understanding personal developments enough. But I think the society is changing. We are having this global awakening now, which is really beautiful and really, really, really beautiful to see. So I have to go through this different layers. So I actually was operating at a surviving. So for me, make money successful, surviving was like everything to me, because I felt very insecure without the money, without the business success. I feel unseen because I was operating out of my childhood wound, you know, that this desperation to be seen by people. So because I got into a rock bottom when my business was financial success, I was like, so why? I mean, I didn't understand back then. I was like, why? My whole life I want to have a success. Now I have financial success. Why am I so like depressed? And I started suffering from so much anxiety. And I was sharing with you earlier about how I felt. So I was like, I don't get it. So I started to researching online, and I come across Tony Robbins on YouTube. He talks about how to, feel fulfillment, happiness, and how to get out of anxiety, things like this. And then that's how I got myself into a personal development journey. And I started this journey about 4 years now. So it's about 4 years ago. And everything changed. Everything in my life changed. And I'm just so grateful. And so because of that journey I did, and I was able to move myself into a next vibration, which is more like, you know that we are not our belief, we're not our self. The self I'm talking about is old self, and also our old self is actually ourself. How we're operating now is actually how we learned all this behavior from society, from culture, from our parents, from the environment, and it's not necessarily it's our soul, right? So there's something here. It's like we call intuition, we call our soul, our higher self connection. But then our mind, which I like to use the ideas of our mind is like a computer, which is like a data, keeping all the data that we have ever learned and processed, the people we have met, all this limited belief we learned. We keep all this stuff in our brain as well. But what I believe that intuition is the Wi-Fi, because intuition, different people believe differently. It doesn't matter which way you believe, so what I believe intuition is actually helping us tap into the high intelligence of shared collective intelligence, and actually coming from my own higher self. But the problem in today's world is that most people, we learned to shut off our intuitions. We actually learn that to listen to our mind because we were not trained to trust ourselves. And I think this word trust is very big play here in flow state, which I'll go into in a bit. But I want to just finish off this high vibration of energy and manifesting stations. Something I've been learning a lot recently is about quantum field. So the idea of quantum field is outside of these 3D realities, that we are made of energies. There's energy expressed by itself. And if you look at the table, you use this crystal in my hand, everything is made of energies and space. And we actually are not just within this 3D world. So there's something, there's a field called the quantum field, which is outside these 3D realities that we can tap into. But we can only tap into that energy space if we actually start connecting to our higher self, and we have emotions like gratitude. And when we're looking at that, it's about manifesting stations. The reason that manifesting stations it works because I actually being able to manifesting lots of things in my life recently. I can't even tell you like how many, but let's say one day I went to a gallery with my partner, and then I went to this I went to Ted Modern. Actually, I was like, oh, I said if I was going to create artwork, I wanted to take photos of 100 people's eyes and then just call it the soul, because I believe our eyes is an expression of our soul. And then within 2 minutes, I walked into the next room. I see something almost identical to what I said. It's like pictures of the eyes of the meditations, and eyes of the soul. So I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So I have lots of things like this happening in my life, which is instant manifesting stations. And I think if you really look into your own life, you probably feel that too. Because, for example, sometimes you may think one of your friend, and then suddenly this friend just contacted you or called you. When we were in Cape Town, that one day my partner went to another city. I was left in Cape Town on my own, and suddenly someone at 8 p.m. was like locking my door very aggressively. And I was like, should I open the door? Should I not open the door? But Cape Town is not very safe, right? Especially recently, there's a lot of politics going on there. But I said that I was actually in between thinking, should I go open the door or not open the door? That suddenly my mom just called me on the phone and says, are you okay? I said, yeah. I said, someone is knocking on my door. Should I open it or not? And she's like, no, you don't open it. I had some bad feelings. That's why I wake up, calling you. So lots of things like this are actually happening in my life, which is called instant manifesting station. That many of us probably have experienced. The reason manifesting station works is because we are made of energy and we attract energy. But manifestation only works is you attract you not just attract as, people say, manifesting doesn't work. It's because they have their old belief system which is holding them back into their past. So manifesting station works is that if you actually change your being. This is a quite deep topic we can talk about next time. And we talk about manifesting station in business in flow state is that, for example, with us, we were able to meet this beautiful product person just like by chance on the street because we've been filling the space. And with our business, we, for example, the brand name just come within like 4 minutes, just come to me. And lots of instant manifesting station is coming through to us. But this idea of trust, it plays a very big part in flow state. I think in life, the reason that people are over control of things in their life is because they don't have trust. I think the trust goes two things here. Trusting self and trusting the universe. I have been doing a lot of work on myself, on trusting myself, because to be honest with you, I didn't trust myself. I probably didn't trust myself my whole life. I'm saying not trusting myself doesn't mean like, oh, I lied, blah, blah, blah. It actually means that when I have some feelings of something I really want to do, or I feel something off with someone, I have these feelings in my body, or I have these intuitions, but I didn't learn to listen to them. Instead, I listen to my mind a lot. I think this is because how we've been conditioned that from our environment. For example, my mom, she's actually quite a controlling person before. That in that process, I learned that my mom is always right about what she says. It's less about how I feel internally. So I learned to not trusting myself. And when I learned to not trusting myself, that I wanted, then that actually create this effect of controlling. And that actually really, really sabotaged my life. Because when I didn't trust myself, what's happening is that I can't speak up my voice. I feel like I don't have a voice. I question myself a lot. So I would want to do something, but then there's another voice just pull me back. And I think many of us probably experiences this as well, is that you want to do something in your life and you have this false voice that's like, oh my god, I want to do this. And then immediately you're like, oh, I feel really good doing this. But then suddenly there's another voice come out of that, which is like your mind, your conditions of your past, your education, all of that. And because of that, I didn't have my voice. So that means I couldn't lead. When I said lead, it's not just about leadership. What I really believe leading is actually one is to live in authentic self and honoring itself. And because I didn't have a trust for myself, I also don't have a trust in the universe. And I was someone I really, 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 really loved living in certainty and security. So I kind of just draw this box for myself. That's me. That's me. That's the box. What I see myself is this girl who lives in a box. Yes, I maybe have some success somewhere financially here, but it's still within my box. I'm still live within this box. And this is where the challenge is. We always live in this box of comfort zone. We never see what is actually outside this box, which is infinity of the universe and the world. And I didn't trust the universe. I didn't trust myself. My ego feels that, of course, I know better for myself. Really. Last year when I closed down my last business, it was really hardcore. It took me a year to make that decision. To be honest with you, I didn't feel aligned to that that company for probably maybe a couple of years or something like that. But I found it very difficult to let it go because I didn't trust the universe. I didn't trust that, oh, you know what? By moving away from things that no longer serving you, you're creating a space. So you move away all of this. What happened to you is you actually start creating this beautiful space of opening. The universe coming with beautiful gift to you. Because I was able to closing down the business afterwards, what happened was I was able to go traveling around for like a year and really healing myself and do all this internal work. And 1 year, I'm back to London now. You know, I speaking to some of my friends and people who are still in the stuff they're still not serving them. But I already did a lot of work within myself for the last whole year. And I think this is the first time last year I made the leap of faith. I just jumped. I'm just gonna jump and see what is outside of my little box. And I started to experiencing infinity of universe. I trust the universe will guide me through life. So that is really powerful here because this is literally opposite to control. And when you let it go of the control, you are able to go into more flow state. Let the universe start to provide for you. If you read about this book called Michael Singer wrote this book called Surround Experiment. How he talks about he created this company from a flow state. And it's really powerful because, you know, he basically was a yogi. He just wanted to live in the wood and doing yoga all his life. But little him, he didn't know all of these beautiful things the universe has provided for him. And one day he bought this computer and he started to do software. He realized he really loved doing software. And then he went on build a multi-billion company. I mean, that's just really beautiful, right? Because how do we know? How can we know what is our so biggest purpose, you know, if we just keep controlling of what we know? Because don't forget, what you control here is what you already know in your past. And if you already know in your past, means you're trapped in this box. You don't know what is outside this box. So if you want to tap into a flow state, the first thing we have to learn is actually trust ourselves, our intuition. I started to practice in trusting my own intuitions for a year now. I really practicing. I'm talking about not just like sit there Zen meditation. I'm actually talk about, you know, when I meet someone, the first thing I go into is I tap into my body. How do I feel about this person energetically? And if something in even platform I wanted to use to post my video, I would tap into my body, feel like, how do I feel about using this platform? Do I feel expansion or restraint? You know, I made a promise to myself that I will always do the things that my body feel expansion of energy. Because sometimes intuition doesn't talk to you, says, you must do this for the 5 years of your life. Well, intuition doesn't do this. What intuition actually does is it gives you feelings. It feels like, I feel really good with this person. I feel like, this is good feelings in my body. Of course, your brain starts to kick in, but that's okay. That can be practiced. The first thing is about trusting your intuitions and learning to trust the universe. And one of the good exercise to do for trusting the universe is actually looking back to your life. That maybe you failed that exam. So for example, I never think I failed. I failed myself as a dancer. I failed myself as a designer. Well, it's because what I actually started to believe that is something if I failed is because my higher self is telling me, hey Nancy, you are on the wrong direction. Let's go to the space of your purpose, of your soul highest purpose here. And how do we know? When things are slow flowing into your space and things started to flow in effortlessly. Like us, our business literally just in few weeks, we got the brand name, we got the logo, we got the product person, we got beautiful manufacturing. Just literally like it's just mind blowing. Before, to do this amount of work so would take us at least 3-4 times, because I know better, my ego knows better. That's why, control. But now, because we tap into our trust of ourself and our body, our intuition, our higher self, things are just started to flowing more and more, and then life become easier. You no longer have to work 14 hours a day every single day, like to try to kill yourself because you wanted to keep everything under your control. And also you started to feel the sense of security within yourself. You know what, if we're giving our best and the business doesn't work, fine, that means this is not our highest calling. And yeah, is that scary? Of course it's scary. This is like the money we're using is our wedding money, and it's like, ooh, we want to have a children here too, but that's okay, because again, set up your intention when you're starting a business. What is your intention? Is your intention to make X amount of money? Then I would say you need to look through these sections, because this is not normally our highest calling. Our highest calling is never like, I want to make X amount of money. That's normally is coming from ego or scarcity. And that is, you actually blocking the universe here, because you cannot tell the universe, I can only make this amount of money, or I must make this amount of money. You cannot block everything. Which is not pretty space to be in. Great, and hope you find this video useful. I know my camera is like blur because it's like auto focus, but I hope that you found some value in my video today, and I feel really good because this is my third video now and I feel a lot more better. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I send you lots of love. May my higher self speaking to your higher self. Sending you lots of love.